Hey everyone, today we are doing a Ghibli redraw. I chose to do the scene from Howl's Moving Castle where Howl saves Sophie in the beginning of the movie and they're floating above the city. I chose to do Howl's Moving Castle because growing up, my parents allowed me to flourish in my love for anime, and on Sunday nights, they allowed me to choose an anime movie or series that we would watch together as a family, and Howl's Moving Castle would end up being my mom's favorite movie. So it's just very special for me. My parents really allowed me to flourish in my love for anime and art, and they were always one step ahead in supporting me in the things that I enjoyed. They would allow me to draw anytime that I wanted to draw. They would allow me to watch anime however much I wanted, and they would ask me questions about the series that I enjoy and why I enjoyed the series so much. I really enjoyed the aspect of that growing up, and they didn't quite understand it all the time, but they at least tried, and I think that that's an aspect of parenting that I really look forward to kind of nurturing with my own daughter. That she's currently 2 right now, but when she's older, I hope that I have that same aspect in parenting growing up with her. So with the piece, I really wanted to show off my style specifically. So here I am laying down my colors and starting my rendering process. I don't do line art, so I'm really just laying down colors and trying to render out what I wanted. The hands were the biggest complaint that I have about this piece, and I'm sure that anybody that's done a redraw of this piece kind of has expressed that, because the hands are a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. They're in a really weird position. But I had a lot of fun doing this one. It was very relaxing to draw. It was just the hands were a huge pain in the ass. And I don't usually draw men, so I had a little bit of a difficult time getting Howl's face kind of captured within the piece, because I didn't want him to look too feminine, and I also didn't want him to look too off-putting, and I kind of think he looks a little off-putting, I'm not gonna lie. But it's just because I'm not very familiar with drawing men's facial structures. It's just not something that I draw on a regular basis. I usually draw women. So it's just, it was a little bit of practice for me, I suppose. But I also wanted to give Howl a bit of a pretty face because he's a bit of a pretty boy. And then I also wanted to ensure that Sophie didn't have too much of a pretty face because she's very much more of a simple woman. And she doesn't really care about like lipstick and lip gloss and things like that. So I didn't want to make up her face too much. So kind of trying to capture that in the piece was a little harder to hold back, because usually I do like big lips with like lots of lipstick and stuff in my style. So I wanted to give her a much more simplified look without going too overboard. Trying to capture the coat was kind of difficult because I just couldn't figure out really where the coat was going. Even though I had the screenshot in front of me, it was just kind of harder for me to tell where the coat was going and whether or not there were needed shadows that were necessary. So I hope the coat ends up looking okay. But I feel like for the most part, I captured like Sophie's dress quite well, and I was able to capture Howl's shirt quite nicely. I just worry that the coat is kind of nonsensical a little bit, but overall, I'm quite pleased with the end result of the piece. I don't know. This scene was a little bit more difficult to draw than I thought it was going to be, I'm not gonna lie. I found this piece extremely relaxing to do, but there were, like I said, a lot of parts that were quite difficult for me, such as the hands. But the painting part was relaxing. It's just the anatomical parts were a little funky. So here I'm just kind of softening the cheeks a little bit on Sophie, just making them a little less blushed. And then I'm cleaning up a little bit around the clothing areas, adding some blue tones for the shadows in some spots, and then cleaning up his collar on his shirt. And then I struggled with the ears, so I do take a minute to finally fix those ears. And then drawing his little chain. Drew his earring. And then I'm finally starting to work on the hands a little bit more throughout the piece. I really start to work on them more at the end a lot more. It's just these were something else. For some reason, I just couldn't get them right. I felt like they were against me. So I kind of jump around back and forth between working on them and not working on them because I didn't want to work on them at all. And then I drew his ring, and then I'm trying to clean up the line art a little bit, or not the line art, but like the darker sketch area that's around it. And then I end up not really cleaning it up very well, in my opinion. It's just a lot of back and forth. And then I sent a screenshot into my Discord server, which you can join my Discord server. Link is below. We just share our art and talk back and forth about art stuff and our day. And then, yeah. This is the part where I run out of stuff to talk about with my art. And then I decided to do curve control. I feel like the curve ended up making it look a lot better, in my opinion. I stamped on my thing, added a chromatic aberration, and this is the final piece. If you enjoy these types of art videos, I do invite you to subscribe. I make these types of videos all the time. I also invite you to like the video. That lets me know that you enjoy this type of content specifically. And leave a comment below letting me know your favorite anime movie or anime series. That's just a cool conversation piece. I do have a Discord server where you're invited to join and share your art and talk to other artists. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.